Boys are so curious, and they want to engage in their worlds, especially when you put spatial things in front of them, when you throw balls or shoot arrows. Their brains connect with movement. So why is it, when we look at the educational outcomes of boys in the state of California, all boys are behind in reading at all grade levels?
And I see that from the class, and I'm a parent, so I don't know what to do. Everything you say is true.
Teacher ed programs. The other answer is continuing to do the work like this, and if it's a school at a time, a classroom at a time.
We as a civil society are failing our children. We need to step up.
And realize we're in a crisis of addiction. 78% of California, 78% of those who died from opioids in California are male. 80% of suicide deaths. 70-some% of alcohol deaths. When you look at it nationally, you're going to find comparable numbers. And when we look at this, and you look at a 2025 budget, and again, I have a wife, I have 7 nieces, I want them all to do well. But notice how I have to revert back to defending before moving forward and saying it's time to look at the boys and the men too.
Having the opportunity to share the benefits of single gender classes, the expectation of what it will look like, and the parent being willing to do so is the part that makes it the most successful. But do I believe we should have them? Yes.
Kindergarten, back to school night. 30 kids, had 60 parents. Junior high, 150 kids, had about 20 parents. Parents got to keep track of your kids, even especially middle school, because that's where you think they're adults. They're not.
79% of all suicides are male. That's about close to 40,000 in 22, predominantly young male. Over 80% of all suicides in African American, Hispanic, and Pacific Islanders are young men.
If you're not an educator like some of us here at this table, what can we do as parents, as community members, as parishioners of churches, as synagogues, mosques? How can we create those sacred spaces that you were talking about if some of the people here don't have a classroom, they don't have that space? What can we do? Can you imagine that with us?
I remember at Children's Church, we had the little kids, and then we had the middle schoolers, and then the teenagers. Now we can also do the same thing and just say we have it specifically for boys and those who understand the brain of boys to be able to teach it. So there's a variety of ways in which we can think about and imagine how that could look. It's not a heavier lift, it's just an informed lift.
As a high school teacher as well, and a mom of 3 boys, what is the most impactful change a school can make in order to rescue our sons, in your opinion?
Read and understand the data and do something about it. That's going to be the first place. And to be responsive and not reactive.
How do we get past the stigma of a woman working in a male-dominated environment, working with boys? I work with boys from the ages of 11 through 25. And I've worked in television and film in sports, and I come across a lot of men who think that I should be at home in the kitchen and that I shouldn't be in the boardroom.
Teach them that your boss might be a woman, and it's perfectly fine.
But this is a reality, and it's a reality that if we are willing to admit it, we can work with it to help these children get educated, especially our boys.
At some point, a man needs to see how a man operates and move and model life.
I am encouraging us to make sure that we are utilizing what we know about brain science to support our young men in schools to be successful and not be referred to special education and or medicated, so we can decrease our addiction that we're seeing in the United States today.
Looking at the data is not enough. We got to do something with the data. I'm one of those cable pounders. Let's get it done.